What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Vend Talk, brought to you by Vend Guys, your full-service vending machine distributor. We will not just sell you vending machines, we help you maximize your profits. I'm here again with Kashief, and we are joined by Ben and Alex, both from Nayax. Today we're going to get into some little bit of high-level discussion about that, and I'm going to let Ben and Alex give us a little introduction. Tell us about yourselves, how long you've been in the vending machine world, what got you started in the vending machine world.
Alex, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So, Alex Vaserman. I'm the VP of Technology for Nayax North America. I've been with Nayax for more than 15 years and a bit longer than that in a cashless world. Well, most of that it's in the vending industry. The vending industry is extending and it's growing to many different verticals. And I'm happy to share the mic with you guys.
I am Ben Thomas. I'm VP of Product Strategy at Nayax North America. Prior, I was actually an operator myself back in 12, and then a best friend of mine and I started a company called Yoke Payments. We were looking to get in the micro-market space, realized the technology itself was expensive, clunky, dated, so we felt we could build a solution that just required your smartphone. And so we built a very simple, lightweight POS system and mobile app that seamlessly integrated to all the major VMS systems. And then we later got acquired by Cantaloupe, ran micro-market strategy for Cantaloupe for a few years. And this past year came over to Nayax, and I've been heading on the product strategy for smart coolers, micro markets, and other products in the retail space.
All right, Ben, for people who don't know, could you explain what a POS system and a VMS system is? Because, a lot of people listen might just be getting started and they might not be familiar with that terminology.
Right. So the VMS, but that's the back office, right? That's going to be managing your warehouse of products, running your pick lists, and being able to calculate what your markets are doing. And on the front end, where the consumer is actually buying from it, that's your point of sale, right? That's the physical hardware. That's the kiosk that the consumer is going to be buying from. And so then you have the two that got to work together with. So you have a lot of POS providers that are coming in the space, but they really are not going to have success without communicating to the VMS providers, right? And so you've got Seed, you have Nayax, we have a couple different platforms, and there's a couple other providers out there, but this space has definitely been consolidating over the few years, the past decade, I would say. And so that's only really a handful of VMS providers to date. And then even on the POS side, I would say that space has slowly been shrinking as well. And so there's only really a handful of providers that are really having an impactful solution out there. Because as you know, operators range from different sizes, but the most common component is the cost of the POS, right? You got to be able to scale your business with a POS that makes sense for your business, as well as the VMS, right? So you got to be able to be conscious of a VMS that meets your business criteria. You might be a smaller size operator, so you don't want to be overpaying for a VMS that does a lot more if you're an enterprise customer, right? So it's important to notate, like, what are you looking for as an operator? And it could be costs, it could be functionality. And then obviously, like, what size of business do you have that can meet that VMS and POS needs?
Okay. All right. So, Ben or Alex, do you guys have any thoughts on pay range purchasing Kiosoft?
Well, I think it's just day planning is, to extend the market value. Pay range has a great system for the laundry machines, but mostly based on the app, while at Kiosoft, they have the POS systems. So, it's, I think it's kind of like logical transition for both companies. It's adding more to the competition. I think competition is good, is pushing the market forward, pushing the technology forward. So we will see how it goes.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think it's more about allowing them to have more of a competitive advantage, right? They've kind of been in a single lane or two, like where they haven't had the ability to kind of expand their portfolio of where they can go after. So I think having, you know, a VMS now part of their portfolio allows them to kind of open themselves up to a wider range of opportunities with different operators.
Can I ask something real quick? Can I before we get into that? All right, so I just wanted to ask you guys, especially you, Ben, since you've been in the business before, like, so why vending? Like, why did you choose to get into the vending business in
Yeah.
general?
So that's a good story. So my best friend and I actually looked at getting into healthy vending initially. We were living in Los Angeles, and a lot of the vending at the time was not focusing on providing healthier alternatives. And we're driving to Whole Foods every day to get a healthy protein bar or kombucha, and like, why shouldn't that be in my apartment complex? So we started researching the space, looking at different healthy franchise opportunities, realized that really wasn't something we wanted to commit to. But during that process, we got exposed to micro markets. And it was almost like the pilot phase of micro markets. We're like, light bulb, like that's the future of vending. That's the future of retail, right? So we're like, let's go be guinea pigs in this space. Let's become experts in unattended, specifically self-checkout. And as the world around us becomes more adaptive to the self-checkout world, we would then be positioned to take our business to the next level. And so we looked at, okay, let's go source our coolers. Let's go source our own branding. Let's kind of build like not a franchise, but like a business opportunity where we could educate other business owners who want to get in the space. Here's the coolers you want to use. Here's the kiosk. Here's the food, and really kind of give them a turnkey business opportunity. And then as we started to go to the NAMA shows and realized quickly, vending operators really weren't into selling healthy food, but they liked the technology we built. And they're like, okay, like everyone else is selling, the Avanti and the 3-2 Market large kiosks that were $8,000-$10,000. And we had a tablet-based kiosk that cost a fraction of that. And that was where they're like, okay, wow, I can now put a micro market on every floor of an office building that has 120 employees, where previously you needed, 500 employees that would be on one level because the build out was like $30,000. And we're like, you can now have a micro market turnkey for under $5,000 and you could put it on every floor. And that's what some of our customers did. CC Vending, for instance, in New York, they launched with Chase, and they literally put a micro market on every floor of those buildings because 365 couldn't do it for them. They didn't have a cost-effective solution at the time. And then since we launched that product, everybody else started to come down on the price, the size, the form factor. But to your point, literally, we got into it because we wanted to sell food and realized maybe we should start selling technology as the kind of pivot we did, kind of like our 2-year mark. We're still growing it, but realized the tension started to shift away from the business model of the food and really toward, a scalable POS system that was integrated to all the VMSs. But yeah, it literally derived from my buddy calling me up being like, hey, what do you think about healthy vending? I was like, let's do it.
All right. Then it kind of took over, turned into what it turned into, took over, and local was on.
Obstacle equaled opportunity, right? We kept getting hit with like an obstacle, and we're like, oh, well, why is that obstacle the way it is? And oh, maybe other people have that same obstacle. And then we were just like, let's turn it, let's keep flipping it, let's keep turning it, And so that kind of went down that path, and it never stopped.
So Ben, how and why did Cantaloupe purchase you?
So Cantaloupe literally needed to keep up with 365. Right? So, Cantaloupe, its history, is your technologies, payment focused company, really selling vending machine payment devices and handling payment services. And they realized they needed to get into the micro market space. We were an integrated partner of theirs early on, and they saw the growth we were having and realized like this is a small size company. They've got some good traction. They're obviously smart with what they're doing. And so that was the kind of first step for them to get in the micro market space. And for us, we weren't looking to sell. We were actually looking to raise, and we were looking at maybe them as a partner in that raise. But we just survived COVID, and, things were a little hectic, but also we realized COVID was going to accelerate the self-checkout space. The need for unattended was only going to grow. And we started to see that happening. We held our grounds on the acquisition, and we worked a good deal. But yeah, it was like a bittersweet kind of end to a chapter of our lives, but no regrets by any means.
Yeah. And then go into how did Nayax get you?
Yeah. So at that time I stepped away from Cantaloupe last year, had a kid. So it was like good timing in life, take a little breather. And then Nayax reached out for looking to help bring me on some consulting for the micro market space and kind of just to focus on the product. because Nayax was growing and it still is growing in the US. And so I kind of came on from consulting perspective, had really good energy with the company, with Carly. We just kind of synced. It was for how big Nayax is, they still have this like hungry startup energy, right? And I love that. I don't like getting consumed by the corporate kind of BS that happens a lot of times. And I feel like with Nayax, for how big they are, they still have this desire to keep innovating, to keep pushing the product, keep pushing the team, keep pushing the vision, and not get so caught up in the mundane bureaucracies of a corporate business. So those were the things that I picked up right away that I was like, okay, like, I sniffed, the sniff test was good. I loved the corporate culture that they were building, and the team there was young and hungry. So yeah, it was a good fit, and it still is.
And you're not an operator anymore. You don't have a route, correct?
No, but it's a good space to be in. That's for sure.
Yeah, I like it so far.
Especially because like I'm on the other side. I'm like, dang, these guys are making this much money. Like, what all the technology is also growing, right? These smart coolers, these smart stores, like this is the future.
Yeah,
The operators who are buying in now are the ones that are going to see the biggest dividends down the road.
the smart coolers are what really got me into it. I had no interest in it until I seen that. I mean, I knew about vending machines and the business itself, but when I saw the smart cooler side of it, I was like, that might be something I want to do. So yeah.
When it changes the space, I mean, like, and I feel like the name of it's going to change. Like, you're not a vending operator, like you're like a retail owner, business owner, right? Like, cause this is not a vending machine. Like it might have a similar product mix, but reality, I think the audience is going to start shifting this is no longer your typical food and beverage machine.
Right.
This could be anything you want. You could put it in a retail store, you can put it in a stadium, you could put it in an airport. Hospitals right now, I mean, they're starting to sell fresh food, which is great, but like there's so many other things that you can be putting in these machines. You just got to know your audience, right? And know, that audience is going to need Advil, Tylenol, headphones, whatever it may be, because they're in a hot deodorant, whatever it may be. It's really, the sky is the limit. And also I think the barriers of who we're going to be focusing as our customers are going to change, right? Today, vending operators are bread and butter, but I think as other retailers start to get hint of where they can take their business, they're going to start entering this space, and you're going to see other merchants of different sizes and different shapes start to become smart store owners.
Yeah, and you know what? Also, I see like the smart coolers. It's getting into the middle. So before that, you had the vending machines. Each vending machines, like you can place it in every place. But then you wanted to more advanced solution, and that's going to be that's where the micro markets. The micro markets, they bulky and expensive, and in some cases, the installation, you need to bring shelves, you need to bring coolers, you need to and so it was like either the vending machines or a micro market. And the smart coolers, they're catching like a niche of in between, where you can still offer a big variety of products, especially fresh food and, like you mentioned, healthy foods, but without the ticket price, and to rebuild the whole. Sometimes you need to do some renovation in the rooms there, so you don't need to do it. You just replacing the vending machine with a smart cooler or a few of them with about the same range of price of a vending machine, and providing a much better service. So it's catching the niche, and I like it actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alex, let's talk about some software. What are the major differences between the MOMA and the VendSys?
MOMA and the VendSys. Well, it's kind of working together. So VendSys is a part of a Nayax group. So we have the Nayax core, and just to explain how it all works together. So Nayax core is a great management system. You can run your inventory, your pick list, and it's capturing. You can run your pick list for machines that operates via DEX through the VDI, as well as for the smart coolers and, for example, any machine that has no DEX as well. Same as VendSys. VendSys, I would say it's for operations that requires bigger routes, and compared to the Nayax, which you can run 2-3 vending machines on that in a much easier way. The MOMA app is it's a mobile management, where you can see all your machines, all your revenues. You can restrict access if you want to if you have drivers that working for you or fillers, you can restrict the access only to the pick lists. So they can get to the machine, they can see whatever is missing on the app, and they can pick it straight away from the truck or just to run a pick list. So it's kind of like, we're providing like an all umbrella for the vending operator from the point they're installing the card reader, and they can run the business fully through their mobile phone. Now they can see the sales, they can make refunds, uh, they can run pick lists. I can run a pick list for machines, and I can send it to my guys, and tomorrow morning the pick list will be relevant. You can have some predictive options that based on statistics, so I can know even if I'm running the pick list on Friday, it's still going to be relevant on Monday morning when they're picking up the items.
And I think, when we're talking about, new vendors coming in or guys looking to scale their business, these systems or this software, as in MOMA, VendSys, Core, all of these things are going to be super important in terms of somebody being able to scale, right? Because it allows you to manage your business effectively without having to do too much. And I use MOMA personally, obviously a lot now at the point that I'm at now.
Yep.
But before that, I would have to go. I don't know what other people did. I think other people would, kind of put everything in the truck and then you go to the location and then you take out what you need out your truck and then go stock it in the machine. I would, I didn't even have a truck. So I would have to go to the location, see what it needed, write it down, then go, pack the stuff up, come back another day. Then by the time I come back, it needs more stuff than it did when I was there the last time. Like, so it was a lot of back and forth, whereas though now all of that stuff can be seen right from my phone.
Absolutely. There is a lot of wasted products. And, every time I'm, giving someone a training inside Nayax or, just onboarding a new employees, I always try them to go like, hey, like, let's go to the field. You need to see like a day of a vending operator and like how it looks like, because when you're getting to the parking lot and your pick list is not accurate, it's frustrating. You need to go back and forth, and then all your schedule is messed up. And so we're taking the accuracy of that very seriously from our side. Especially locations like airports or schools, when you can enter the place in the specific hours, you have to be as much as efficient as possible.
Yep.
So I know when you were talking, you said VendSys is more like for larger operators, right? So MOMA, I would assume is kind of designed for the smaller operator who's maybe like just getting started, correct?
So MOMA is like I said, it's a mobile management app, and it's connected and based on the Nayax core. So everything that you can manage in the Nayax core system, you will be able to manage that on MOMA as well. And the difference is you can run, for example, you can run VendSys and you can still have MOMA, because through the MOMA, it's not only about the managing the inventory, you can also make refunds. You can activate the machine remotely, and you can change the machine settings. So, for example, even if I'm running VendSys as my VMS, I still can have my technician to have access to MOMA, because if I need to get to the machine and I need to turn off the volume, I need to change the DEX settings of how I'm sending the data to VendSys, I can still do it through MOMA, so I don't need to go with my laptop, or I don't need to go back to the office to put it on a piece of paper that I'm going to lose. So MOMA is you can manage the inventory and the reader, your fleet of readers in parallel through the MOMA. So it's not replacing each other. It's more like it's a complementary solution, and it's an add-on that it's a saves time. I'm getting to the location and I need to change something instantly, or I'm installing a new device and I need to activate it. I can do it all through MOMA, regardless if I'm using the Nayax core or VendSys.
All right. And that's something I was going to ask too. I know, so not necessarily putting them against each other, but just focusing on MOMA for a second. What are some of the features, like for the people who don't know, what are some of the features that MOMA has, and like what are some of the new ones, or some of the ones that might be in the works or whatnot? Like how does it benefit their experience, running their business? Like what can MOMA do for them?
So MOMA, it's your back office, everything in your phone. Like I said, like, if you're setting up a new business and you're starting from, like, let's say 20 readers, you have 20 locations, you can place the names, but you have a truck, you took 5 readers, you're going to install them. you don't know where each reader going to be. So everything you can set up in MOMA. It saves you time. You got to the location, you take a reader, you installed it, takes you a few minutes. Once you're done, you can just log into the MOMA. You can put the location, you can put the name of the reader. If you, let's say, you want to put there like a dual language on the reader, you can put English, and you can have a Spanish as well, like a secondary language, or whatever you want. So everything you can while you're at the location. So you don't need to get back to the office and then start to remember, okay, I put this unit on that machine, but maybe it's another machine, and then you have your location mismatch. So you have like your installation process goes much faster and more efficient. Second thing is your pick list and your inventory. Let's say you started with the Nayax, you didn't set up your account yet with VendSys, or you're considering that. You can start manage your inventory straight away through the MOMA app and with the tools you're getting with Nayax. Especially once you're in the beginning of the business, you're getting so many options. You're getting the MOMA, you're getting the Monix, you're getting Nayax score, you're getting the reader, you need to close the contract with the location. No, it's overwhelming. And you can start with all of that, but at the end of the day, you wanna, as a vending operator, you just need to get going. You need to refill the machines. You need to manage your stock. You need to look for new locations, to secure new locations. So there are so many things to do. So that actually allows you to start to make the soft baby steps into the industry, and with pretty simple and straightforward app. Then you can upgrade. You can add the VendSys. It has different reports. Allows you to manage your in-house inventory and stuff like that. Yeah, but to get all of them at once, it's you'll spend more time learning the system rather than to run the business.
Yeah, and I think it's a program. So the Monex, right? The software,
Yeah.
the Monex software is something a lot of people don't use. Can you guys tell us more about that? About how that works? Because I think a lot of people don't use it. It's a way you can definitely, increase your sales using that software. Like, what's the best way to use that software? Like, what does it do?
So Monix starts with Monix as a virtual wallet. It's a virtual wallet designed by Nayax. You download it. Every machine has the ID, has the QR code shown on the VPOS touch reader. You can scan the QR code and you can add money to the wallet and you can pay with it. When you're adding money to the wallet, there is some discount. The Nayax subsidized that. So as a vending operator, you just enjoy extra revenue as the bottom line. Monix, let's say, and it also depends on the location and the operator. If my machine gonna be in a public location, probably I wouldn't use the app. I just gonna tap my card and I'll walk away. If it's in my office, or if it's like I see big success of Monix users in some locations with they have a few different vending machines or different verticals. It's popular now that people running a business, for example, car wash, and they're putting a vending machine there, and they have a pet wash there, and some of them they have a real estate, so they're adding also laundromat. But for me, like I'm going there, and I know I'm gonna spend like about $20-$30. But I wouldn't download an app. I'll have a discount anyway. I will use this money. So it's a benefit for everyone. Or if you have an office, like if I'm going every day to the office and I'm buying my snack, or I'm buying my drink, or I'm getting some fresh salad or sandwich, yeah, I wouldn't mind to top up my wallet and use it, especially if I can get a discount out of it.
Yeah, and another thing too is you can take that payment and you can take it to any Nayax device, right? Globally. So that's a huge differentiator from us, from a lot of other providers, is it's not so closed. We can allow merchants to operate, or customers to shop between different locations. They don't just have to take their Monix wallet to that one office they shop at regularly. If they have funds on their Monix wallet and they're at the airport in a different city, they can still use that $20 and tap their credit card and use it. It's very similar to like the Starbucks card, right? You could take that card to any Starbucks account. It's the same thing. You take that card to any Nayax payment device and use those funds.
Absolutely. And like what many other operators are doing, they're using that as as a refund option or a compensation. Like someone is stuck and they didn't get a drink or anything, or things happen, and they're calling the support line. So instead of me sending them cash or going to the system doing a refund, they say like, hey, let me send you like $5 credit. Like even though you spend like $3, like no worries, I'll send you 5 extra. So I can send it to the Monix. They'll get a link. Next time that the machine, they can use this money, they can buy anything they want.
Didn't even know you could do that. Oh, you just put me on something, Alex. Let me write that down. You just put me on something. I did
Well,
not know you can do that.
to teach anything is something new each time, but yeah, like people using that, you're keeping the customer happy, you're still keeping the sale, so everyone's happy.
And then you guys have loyalty programs within that though, right? Like, that's what I
Absolutely,
like
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, so there are like loyalty programs you can run. Let's say you can do a happy hour, or you can run buy 5, get the 6th for free, or things like that. And you can set it to occur every day, once a week, specific time. Some operators that selling fresh food, so they have the peak, and now the nice thing, we have the BI tools in Nayax that you can see the reports and you can see like your peak hours of sales. That allows you to monitor the business and to see, okay, where I can be more efficient. I'll give you an example, not necessarily from the vending world. I have a car wash nearby, and after 9 p.m. it's usually empty, and the place is open 24 hours. So the guy, they say like, okay, I'm gonna have like a 20% discount after 9 p.m. One of a sudden, the place is booming, and all the Uber drivers, like, it's close to the hospital, so people leaving the work, okay, like, so instead of getting a 25% discount on the way to wash the car, instead of doing that during the day and stand the line. No, perfect. Same thing people doing with the fresh food. And instead of having the fresh food expire on the next day, they cutting the price for like by 20-30%. So all the employees going home, they can grab some salad, some sandwich, something fresh on the way. Absolutely. It's also psychologically, when you're holding the money and you're paying that physically, it has a different effect when you're just tapping your card. And now it's like one step forward. You're even not tapping the card, you're just pressing pay. So you probably would add something else. You'll ask your friend next to you, you want something, you want a drink.
I see that with my smart coolers a lot. People opening them up and handing it, their friends will walk up and take something too.
There you go.
So Ben, can you tell us about any new exciting features you guys got in the works?
I mean, I think mostly is adding to our current portfolio of integrations, right? I think obviously this smart cooler gold rush is happening right now. And I think from Nayax perspective, we want to support as many as possible from a payments perspective, right? And so we're looking at integrating and doing payment integrations and VMS integrations to many of them, so that it can enable customers who use the MOMA app, for instance, to be able to continue growing their business. And again, we don't want to be controlling the provider you want, right? If you want to use Haha, or you want to use Shekel or Sandstar or micro-mart, whoever they are, right? It's totally up to the customer, and we just want to be able to assist them with that. Because at the end of the day, we still want them to be a Nayax customer. We want to be able to support them in their growth. So that's been a big focus point for me, is continuing to expand that product offering and enhancing our product as well. So, there's enhancements to the MOMA app, but also we're looking to enhance our micro market offering. We're looking to enhance, and it's funny, we've been cashless, but cash is still required in some spaces. And so, like, for instance, our micro market kiosk today is a cashless solution, but we're going to add a cash acceptance component to it that will allow some customers who still require cash to still be able to grow with us on a micro market level. Age verification is a big piece right now, especially with smart coolers. We're definitely vetting that kind of opportunity with different smart cooler providers. I think that's going to open up new channels as well. So age verification is a big one. And then marketing, right? Like, I think finding other ways to enhance our current advertising and promotion features that we currently have to be able to be expanded into the smart cooler space as well, right? So we want to be able to take what we've done from our current kind of ecosystem and continue to expand that to our other providers and partners as well.
That's a good spot to segue into this. Vend Guys, we sell the ha-has that are Nayax, that work with Nayax now. So I know the major differences between the Nayax ha-has and the non-Nayax. But Ben or Alex, if you guys could walk us through what the major differences from your guys' perspective are on those coolers.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like it's computer vision and weight base, right? And there's a couple now that are going to be coming with a combination of both. I think Haha does a great job with their computer vision. They got obviously they're the most affordable solution on the marketplace, which is a huge advantage for operators who are just getting into the space. But I think the key here is it's not a one size fits all solution out there. Haha is great for certain settings. If you are a custom food provider or custom product provider, Haha might not be the best fit product for you because it's going to require additional learning of the cameras, getting the products into the system. It's just a bigger process, right? And then you might require a different labeling for the computer's vision to capture the products appropriately, where weight is maybe the better fit solution for you, right? So it's important to know your audience and your products, right? If you have a very vanilla planogram, if you're treating it like a vending machine, then like the Haha is probably a great fit for you, right? Again, if you're looking to expand from just vending to smart coolers, it's okay to have a combination of both, I think, right? I think it's just really on what you're looking to sell and the location, right? What do they want to be sold to them? And if they're going in, like we're in a sports complex and we're selling sport gear, right? Like it might not be the most appropriate solution to use a computer vision system or weight based. It's really just dialing in what your product offering is and what you as an operator want to be selling. Because you also don't want to be stretching yourself out too thin, trying to sell A through Z, where you could just be focusing on one segment and maybe doing that really well.
No, I think it's also coming to the point like you have vending machines. You have vending machines that their price range within a few grands, and you have a vending machines, premium vending machines. They can cost you 5 times more, and it always depends on the location and the location needs. What we're trying to achieve with Nayax is that we can actually offer the customer to have any type of solution, depends on the location, but still being under the same umbrella. So they can enjoy by placing a vending machine and this or that smart cooler, regardless of the location, they can offer the same solution without switching their payment provider. So their accounting and their management becomes to be much easier. So I can have any type of hardware on any type of location based on my needs without sacrificing the budget or the quality, but I still running the same system, and I actually my office work becomes to be not an issue for me.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was my if one of you guys want to walk us through the differences between the regular ha-has and the Nayax.
Obviously, the biggest difference is the payment device. That's going from a Nayax, from a PAX device to a Nayax device. But I think the biggest advantage you're going to get is the payment services, right? I think that's one thing that a lot of these smart cooler manufacturers are coming in space. They immediately look to attach a payment device that requires the least amount of friction to get it going, right? But end of the day, they're not payment experts. Smart store experts, smart cooler experts, that's what their bread and butter is. When it comes to the payments, they just want it to work, right? And sure, the experience needs to be frictionless. And at the end of the day, they put that onus on the operator to deal with. And as you start to grow, those growing pains start to become bigger and bigger and bigger if you're not working with the right payment provider. And I think that's where we excel. And again, it's why so many of these smart cooler providers are coming to us, because they're starting to grow and they're starting to realize, wow, we're having more and more friction. Our customers are having more and more problems with their payment providers, either lack of support, payment services, cost of the business. It all kind of factors in. I think that's where we have been doing a great job of in the lifetime of Nayax, is that's our bread and butter, right? And so we're giving that to customers. And that's why so many customers are getting excited knowing that Haha is now working with Nayax, because now they have a trusted payment partner that can help Haha grow, but also the operator can trust they can now grow seamlessly with Nayax and Haha and not feel like I have an issue. Who do I go to, right? Do I call Haha? Do I call PAX? Do I call who's involved there? Where they have an issue, they know exactly who to talk to. It's the same person they talk to for their vending, for their micro markets. one seamless setup. And again, the fees are relatively the same, if not better. Maybe you pay a little bit more on the upfront for the hardware, but that's just a hardware cost. It's one time. We also are going to provide financing options for these operators, so we can kind of help soften the blow if they're looking to expand their business. So there's more that you get with us. And as Alex mentioned, you get the MOMA app, you get the Nayax wallet, you get so much more than just a payment provider.
Yeah, all of my ahas are on the pack system, and I kind of, when looking at the differences, I wish that I had the Nayax versions.
I mean, and you didn't know when you get started, right? You don't
No,
know
I had
these
no
things.
idea.
Now you're like, oh, okay, I see the value.
Well,
And again, I understand it from an operator's perspective, you know?
the Monex wallet, that's huge. It accepts American Express, things like that. Those are big deals, I think, to me. And like you said, the fees are relatively the same. I think the fee for processing fees for the Haha powered by Nayax is 2.5% plus 15 cents per transaction, and then the regular is 5.9% plus 5 cents per transaction. I mean, that kind of equals out to the same thing at the end of the day. I think the way Charlie explained it to me was that if you tend to sell multiple items per vend, you're going to be better off on the Nayax side than you would be on the other side.
Yeah, and with us, you know, if your average ticket's under $3, we do have a fixed rate option that is that like 5.45. But again, because that's typically not seen, that's really designed for vending, right? Because on vending, you're going to see that $1 to $3 average ticket. With smart coolers, you're seeing $4 and higher, right? And so that's where that variable rate definitely is in your advantage, especially as you go higher ticket. You go to $10, right? That's when it starts to really show the savings you're getting, for sure. And then also, like, you know, when it comes to refunds and all that, it's seamless.
Yeah.
It's in the moment. You know, you don't have to log into another platform and chase down this information. It's just pull open the app, look up the transaction, and submit the refund.
One of the biggest things that I like about the Nayax version is the pre-auth processing times. You know, you have for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, pre-authorization, there's a number that you set, so you can have it at $5, whatever you want, so that in order to get into the machine, they have to be able to clear that. That goes on your card, and with the pack system, it's 1 to 5 days. With Nayax, it's 2 to 5 hours. So that's a huge deal as well, because I know, you know, especially I have customers in my factory that literally use the machine I have a guy that probably uses it at least 5 times a day. So 5 times a day times 5, you know, those are adding up on his card, and then that's not coming off for 1 to 5 days. That might stop him from using the machine multiple days in a row.
Yeah. And you see it with, like, you know, like Cantaloupe, for instance, they have a couple smart coolers, and then customers are limited. They can only do so many transactions in a window before it declines their card as well.
Didn't know that.
And with us, we have incremental pre-auth, right? And that's really what you need for smart coolers. That allows an operator to have a low initial pre-auth amount. And then when they start shopping, and whatever the transaction goes higher from, that initial pre-auth drops off, and then they get charged for the actual amount they took out of the cooler. And that way you don't have to have this high initial pre-authorization amount, you know, where someone wants to get pinged for $50 and then have to get a second transaction for $5. That allows that to not be an issue. It's now treating it like you go to the gas station and you get pinged for 50 cents to make sure you have funds, and then it charges you for exactly what you took.
So I have a question, and you guys could have, you know, possibly answered this already. Do you ever think, you know, with the evolving of the smart coolers, do you ever think they'll be able to take cash?
Think so, only because it opens up a whole, I mean, again, like, it might be in the right environment, but like now you have like the whole point of smart coolers, it kind of opens where you can put them, right? And right now you see micro markets that take cash in very closed loop environments, right? It's secure. You know, a machine is left there all day long. Where like a smart cooler could be now in your apartment complex lobby, right? Or your gym or the airport, where, you know, there could be some potential theft or vandalism. And if you have a box full of cash, that would be my concern of leaving that out to the public.
Yeah.
But I just feel like where cash is going, I don't see it being something that would be introduced, you know.
With the Haha, like a Haha, for example, you really wouldn't be able to use cash just because of the pre-auth. There's no way to there's no way to pre-authorize somebody opening up the door and just, they might only have $10 in their pocket. They're going to take $30 worth of stuff.
100%.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be some minimum amount, or I saw samples people doing that you can top up your, let's say you have a Monix app, and then you can top it up with the cash. So it's not necessary to open the fridge, but I can put a cash on my app, on my wallet, and I can top up the, let's say I have there $20, I can add another $20, and then I can open the fridge. So I think it's going to be based on location. Like Ben said, most of the locations, especially the closed loop, they're trying to get rid of cash, with the theft and everything goes around. So people don't really want to handle cash. It comes to the point that handling cash these days, it's more expensive than just getting money next day to your bank account, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very true.
I asked it because
Some locations that are required cash, regulatory, or just like the DNA of the location. I'm sure that there will be a solutions and to provide this, but the majority goes cashless.
yeah, I mean, I could see that being a thing for sure. I mean, I think sooner or later, where we're going in a society, in the direction with society, I think we'll be cashless at some point in time anyway. But I know if I'm looking at the micro mart kind of not micro mart, but the smart cooler versus the traditional machines, the main advantage I see with the traditional machines is the fact that it just accepts more forms of payment versus the smart coolers. And mind you, I really love the smart coolers. Like you could put so much more in those. They look better. It's just less moving parts. It's easier to operate. But I was just wondering, is it ever a plan for figuring out how to make those things accept cash? But this was a question, something I was
Yeah,
wondering.
I think I think it might be like what Alex said, like you could take your cash to like a top up machine, load your card up, and then you could use your card in that kind of setting. The only caveat is, you can only put so much cash, and if you pre-auth for $10 and you only had $10 on the card and you took more than 10, there's no way for you to get charged for what you took. So that's just the caveat, but operators could deal with that as it comes up.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think this is great. We got a good job of covering a lot of different topics.
Yeah. We,
Obviously, a lot of exciting stuff.
we really appreciate you guys coming on. We're getting close to the time limit here. So we're going to wrap it up, and we'd love to have you on again sometime if you guys are interested, and really appreciate it again. Just to let the listeners know, if you are listening and you want to get into the haha coolers that have Nayax, we are the only people that sell that, Vend Guys. So get a hold of us. We'll put a link in the description on the YouTube and all the other places so that you can click on that and fill it out, and we can get you into a Nayax haha smart cooler.